you know what I find hilarious and so comical
Yeah.
is, yes, I've been healthy my whole life physically, but mentally I had gaps that needed to be filled. And ketogenic literally healed me from within, because where before I was constantly trying to like please others, or even if somebody had something negative to say, I would let it fester and I would think about it. And, but, sorry, but, it would really affect me. And with that shift of nutrition that affected my brain, excuse my language, but I literally give zero fucks now. And it's this lifestyle that has changed my thought process, my mind, and it's just, I find it so comical.
Well, and here's the thing, like whenever people hear negativity and it's directed at them, and trust me, I have gotten, and this is no lie, Kiana, I have gotten for more than a decade plus a negative comment in an email, on a social media post, on a YouTube video, something every single day. And what I had to come to the conclusion of many years ago is that's not about me. They're carrying some burden in their life. They're having a rough day. Something's going on in their life. And this has nothing to do with Jimmy Moore. It has everything to do with them. So I always try to look at it from that angle and, I wonder what's bugging them right now that they need to lash out at me, somebody they've never met. Most people that lash out have never met me in person. Anybody that meets me, I'm just a teddy bear. I'm going to hug your neck and love all over you. That's just my personality. But they don't know that behind the keyboard. So that gives a little perspective about how to deal with this negativity as well. It's just realizing hurt people, and they're hurting.
Well, and a lot of the times, yes, there's that backstory, and sometimes it's picking your battles. Often I see people completely wasting so much energy going back and forth, even if it's positive feedback. The only way to deal with that hate is empathy. And instead of engaging in that nonsense, you just got to kind of realize that their perspective is just off. Maybe they'll find their way, but like my kids, I tell them all the time, kill people with kindness.
Yes. I always give people the benefit of the doubt when they first comment to me, unless they're just blatantly, disgustingly ugly. If they're just like, maybe their mama didn't teach them how to talk right. So I always give them the benefit of the doubt to begin. And then I'll come back with a kind response. And then if they come back double barrel shotgun right between the eyes at me personally, then they get the boot. And it's okay to block and delete those people. Again, setting up those boundaries like we talked about earlier. You have to protect your own mental health through this process.
And yeah, and I think it's so important to just learn you need to rise above it all, because there will be people in life that want to hurt others and see others fail. Why? Obviously, we will truly never understand that thought process, but sometimes it's purely to make themselves feel better, like we were talking about, and a sense of power in bringing others down. So if you're just consistently rising above it all, especially with your health, I think that's so important, because do what you think is best, because no one knows your body or how you feel better than you.
Yeah. And over the years, you should see all of the people that have been jealous of me and the success I've had. They'll create whole blogs just to try to tear me down. And I'm like, wow, like I'm living rent free in your head. I love that.
It is so hard. And even like realizing everyone's perception of life is so different. Like we said, maybe it's something that they went through in life, but the problem comes, like I said, again, is when we can't be transparent and respectful as humans, even if our viewpoints are different. And that's okay, but dispelling that negativity, it does start with like a few breaths. For myself, I've learned to just breathe through it, because for myself, I get like naturally, at first, I get warm and anxious and defensive when somebody attacks you, right? But if you're just breathing through it and literally brush it off. As I'm brushing, you can't see me, but as I'm brushing my shoulders off, you need to do what you can control. And we won't be able to control others' negativity that they bring themselves, but we can control our reactions.
Yes.
To them.
Yes.
And so being able to control our reactions, definitely, I've learned over time, has completely helped me with social media, with family, because my reaction will stay positive no matter what. And that thought process has just been a game changer.
And in the online world, you almost have to look at the fake people online, the fake friendships and all that. I mean, people do have friendships that are in real life that they've built online, but there are people that don't know you, and so they're like kind of fake acquaintances. You need to look at them the same way you do as fake food. You just don't need to consume. And if you're not consuming, you're going to stay healthy and you stay with those things that are nourishing you, which are the real relationships. I've built so many friendships through Clubhouse. It's been awesome. I've talked to about 12 people I met on Clubhouse on my phone, like talking in real life. You and I have talked in real life, Kiana.
I know, I love it. It definitely, you will find your tribe. And I think that's what was that post that we were talking about? The law of polarity.
Yes.
You'll have up and down, you'll have left and right, and then with that negativity comes positive people. And focusing that positivity, you will find your tribe always.
For sure, for sure. Well, guys, you're in the Keto Clarity Clubhouse. Go click on the greenhouse at the very top. Subscribe. We try to bring you all kinds of content here on my channel. I'm Jimmy Moore. Wrote a bunch of books about keto and been an influencer for a decade and a half. And yeah, that doesn't come without a little negative from time to time. And I got my bud Kiana here today, a fellow influencer in the keto space. And we're talking about this subject. It's something that doesn't really come out a whole lot. You may see influencers from time to time talk about different things that have been said. And so I want to hear your thoughts. How do you handle those negative people in your life? Just everyday people, friends, family, or even social media friends who just simply do not like that you eat keto and they let you know it. So that's what we're talking about here today. By the way, we're also simulcasting over on Jimmy on Clubhouse on Instagram. So we got Jules and Samples and Clyde and Marcus and Candy and Stacy. So many people coming in. Cece, thank you all for being here watching live. You can watch it on the replay over there, IGTV, when this is over, and I'll put it up on YouTube. Type in a keyword, Jimmy on Clubhouse, and you'll find it over on YouTube. But Lesha came up to give us a comment. Lesha is a fellow influencer as well. Lesha, you get any hate anytime? I know the answer.
Oh my G, straight. Since 2015, I've been getting the haters.
Yes, it means you've been making a difference, my dear.
I've actually had to write an article, like a blog post about this on my blog, because how to deal with keto haters, because I had so many haters. Because you guys know, like when you guys started earlier and there wasn't all this information, so everybody's like, you're eating fat, you're gonna die. And so it was really hard, but I think a couple things that helped for me is I always say the proof is in the pudding, whether that is weight loss or that's your blood work, right? Like if people don't understand, prove it to them, right? Whether that is sending them a research article, whether that them just seeing you feel better, look better, have more energy, be nicer, whatever that is the best type of proof. Because you can talk about it and you can argue with them all day long, but that's not going to make a difference. But if they see it on you, they're going to be like, whoa, there's something about this that's actually legit and working. And another thing that really helped me is like, okay, I did this a few years ago just to kind of prove about how keto is not bad and it's awesome. You can still enjoy great food. I host a Christmas dinner party every single year, and it's this big thing. I invite a bunch of people. And one year, and it was like a lot of my husband's friends, my friends, couples. One year, I told my husband, I'm like, I'm going to make this dinner party keto this year. And my husband almost had a heart attack. He's like, what? And I'm like, no, just chill. Don't tell anybody. I'm going to make it keto. So I made all these, like, nowadays you can make any recipe keto. Cauliflower mash. I had like the best menu. Everyone was like, they loved the food. They were going for seconds. And then at the end of the party, I'm like, hey guys, how'd you enjoy that keto dinner? And they're just like, what? That was keto? I'm like, yeah, surprise. Keto is not like something different than normal food. And then I think that really a lot of them now then realize, oh my gosh, wait, this is actually just like normal food. I just don't eat carbs, refined carbs and sugar. Like, it's not that much different than eating normally. So those are just a few things that I would add in.
That about keto, Kiana, that when they find out what it really is, they're like, oh, really? I kind of eat that way. Kiana?
It really is so crazy. Just that, it's like that aha moment.
Lesha, thank you for that. Next up, we have Ben Azadi. He's a fellow influencer as well. Ben, any hate come your way?
Jimmy Moore, good to see you. Good
Hey,
to
bud.
hear you, brother. I'm actually here at the hotel in Utah with Dr. Dan Kirshner, who's on the room right here too. So
Nice.
Cool
Stop it.
dynamic.
Welcome
Yeah.
to Utah.
Are you here too, Kiana?
Yes, I'm in Salt Lake.
Oh, awesome. We're here in Pleasant Grove. We have an event tomorrow. But yeah, Jimmy, to answer your question, I love this conversation. I've seen a lot of hate. Haters going to hate. Haters will see you walk on water and say it's because you cannot swim. But it's really not about the haters. It's really about your competence. And I believe your competence and what you're doing gives you confidence. And that and conviction wins. So when it comes to haters, it's just a natural byproduct of getting out there and creating waves. And if you don't have haters, I think that's the real problem.
Yes.
Because you're just playing it too small. So I always talk about crabs in a bucket, the crabs in a bucket story. And this could be related to people in our lives that are hating on us, obviously hating on us with comments, or it could be family members. But it turns out you could put 20 crabs in a bucket and leave those 20 crabs in the bucket without a lid overnight. Come back in the morning and all 20 crabs will be there. And you might be wondering, well, why didn't they just try to escape and break free? Well, they did. And anytime a crab tried to escape and break free, the other crabs would drag it back down, claw at it, and bring it back down to the bucket, not allowing them to break free. And we have people like that in our lives. They're haters that are obvious, but they're also the naysayers that make these gentle comments like, why are you eating bacon? Why are you doing intermittent fasting? You're going to slow down your metabolism. It's these subtle comments that if you're not convicted in your message and competent, it could overwhelm you and lead you to actually go off track. So it's so important to be really well versed in how your body works and surround yourself with people like Jimmy Moore, like join more of his rooms. He's so supportive. He's a blessing to this world. And the more you could associate with people who are like-minded, we become our environment. So those are my 2 cents, Jimmy.
Checks in the mail, brother. Kiana, any comments?
I've actually never heard that crabs in a bucket. I am totally using that analogy.
Steal it.
All the credit. But
Yes.
Yeah, especially for my children. I like little concepts that they can relate to like that.
Yes, you should go get a bucket of crabs and prove it in real life, Kiana.
I will head to the Caribbean and do so.
There you go.
I love it.
Thank you, Ben. Yeah, speaking of the Caribbean, Kiana, I remember you recently went on a trip. You got some hate from that. You want to kind of tell that story too?
Oh, yeah. So, my family actually, we are very holistic on our health. And when the pandemic hit, obviously it is, I don't even know how to go into this. We did travel safely. Excuse me. We did travel safely during the entire pandemic. We made sure that we were obviously being courteous of other people, and that's the number one reason why I actually decided to homeschool my children, so they didn't have to wear masks. Yesterday, actually, my girlfriend sent me a picture, and her daughter did a self-portrait, and she drew a mask on her own face, and that's how kids are psychologically seeing themselves. She didn't give her a smile. That's how they're relating with one another. And so for me to give my children that space of almost that normality has been incredible. And so we did decide to take our family for mental health. For myself, I do get seasonal depression. And the sunshine, obviously being Utah, it's really cold. I'm trying to talk my husband to getting out of here. But for myself, it's traveling is my outlet for my mental health. And so we decided to go to St. Thomas. For those of you who aren't educated, it is a U.S. Virgin Island. It is U.S. territory. And so there are steps that you do take. So we had to make sure we tested negative. No vaccine is required. And they do take the precautionary steps to where people are traveling safely with one another. And we decided to go out there, spent about 2 weeks almost out there.
Yep.
For our mental health, and then we came back. And I'm not one to hide my life because it is important to be transparent, like I spoke of. So I posted all about it, shared with others, and we obviously got lashed out and a lot of negativity towards us traveling because how dare us during this pandemic, people are dying, and how dare you, and I hope your children get it, and I hope they get sick, and I hope they,